Welcome back, everyone. Another Tuesday.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in. We're going to get to everything. Do some sourcing as well. I just want to actually start right here with the question already in here from Fatima. It says, hi, Brad, but I'm going to answer it. That's hope you're well. I have a meeting about a brand, meeting about a brand exclusivity, manage their trial, so start stocking products, basically improve sales. And I want advice on discussing a 12-month agreement. What can I say and what to avoid? And we'll touch on that. I think there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, congrats on doing all of that, right? Like improving sales, getting your foot in the door. That's really big, right? So congratulations on that. But as far as an agreement, 12 months is pretty standard. That's what we like to do. What can I say and what to avoid? Well, it really depends on what the brand needs, right? If they're very insistent on optimizations and things like that, you might want to write that in there. We're not going to sit here and give you legal advice, but there are a couple of things that we like to put in all of these agreements, which have to do with essentially what you're doing as the party and what the responsibility of the brand is to you, such as to get you inventory, things like that. The terms, the duration, things like that. So just a basic agreement. You can honestly use like ChatGPT or something to just say you want a distribution agreement, basically, and then go based on that. But I will tell you right now, none of that is going to hold up in court or anything like that. Not that it'll ever or should ever come to that, but none of that is going to ever hold up unless you have it done professionally. So just to get that out of the way, we're not legal, responsible for giving legal advice. We have all of our things done professionally. So.
Yeah, we got a question on Instagram, or not a question, but we got a comment on Instagram from Flipping with John. Got my first $590 multi-order day.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Today's the first of, obviously everyone that's listening to this probably knows that. What is it? I always forget the name of this one. It's like Prime Big Deals or something. Right?
I think it's just Prime Day. Something like that.
No, it's some weird thing. It's like big deals day or something. What is
it today or tomorrow?
Well,
is it today or tomorrow?
It's today and tomorrow.
All right, so we got a question here on YouTube. Why Amazon is not accepting distributor invoices nowadays?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that where it's, kind of a crackdown on like the amount of units and things like that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that as far as, I think it's just overall, I don't think it's a black or white answer on that one, but I think overall the trend is just going towards like more complex invoices and unit counts and stuff like that we've seen in the last 6 months, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon's making it more difficult. I mean, it depends with the distributors. It's hit or miss. Like your best bet is getting an invoice direct from the brand, but Amazon might want to see proof of that supply chain between the distributor and the brand. Sometimes it's hit or miss.
Yeah. The other element of it too is that you could actually have a legitimate distributor invoice and Amazon still won't accept it because of the way the brand has structured their gating. That's also another kind of more advanced thing, but you might have to get a direct LOA from the brand as well. Depends on what brand you're dealing with,
Yeah, you might have to do that.
Yeah. And as we see pretty much, well, I guess every year without fail, I think around Q4, Amazon likes to go Section 3 happy a little bit. as we say, I've heard you say it before, they hand out Section 3s like candy around Halloween. So, just I've been talking to a lot of people lately relating to just like Section 3s and account issues, and it kind of ties into that distributor invoice thing where I've always told people that you and I don't want to do anything that we have to look over our shoulder, and I think that that's super important.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the model of brand direct anyway, but at the end of the day, nobody's above Amazon, right? And, anything can happen. But in the years that we've been doing this, you can still, there's always a way out with Amazon, like even when they issue something, there's usually they issue it for a reason. And if you're able to identify that specific reason, like if they issue you a Section 3, or if they issue you, account health tag, whatever it is, if you identify that specific issue and rectify the problem, then, you're going to find your way out of there. But it comes down, if you're intentionally going around the law with Amazon, then you're going to get problems. Like if you're submitting a fake invoice, or if you're, doing shady stuff, then Amazon is going to give you problems, as they should, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I always say it's like, I'd rather make money maybe a little bit slower for a longer period of time than make a bunch of money really quick and never be able to sell again. It's a short-sighted thing.
Yeah, we see sellers do that a lot, where they just, jump on the first opportunity available, especially new sellers jump on the first opportunity. And, we see it all the time, even in brand direct, like a lot of cash grabs out there. Brands, like, just because brand direct doesn't mean it's like, all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, you could find a brand that's, scams you. I mean, we've been there, getting scammed.
Multiple times. Oh yeah.
Getting scammed out of product. I mean, people do shady things in business. You got to know who you're dealing with. And even in brands, you got to vet the brands too.
Yeah, super important. I mean, for all of the like stringency that a brand has when it comes to vetting you have to be doing the same exact thing. It's like when something is so difficult to do, it's like once you're finally able to do it, finally able to open the account, it's like a lot of sellers will jump at that because they're like, well, it took me so long to get here, it must be legitimate, and sometimes it's not. So
yeah, signs to be careful of is like brands that are just shoving product down your throat. Like, they're sending out like mass email templates to you about buying their inventory. I mean,
yeah, everything is hyperlinked with the ASINs.
Yeah, anytime a brand is like, we got 5 slots left for Amazon sellers.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Put in the junk folder.
Yeah, exactly. So getting back to more legitimacy with brands, how to take a brand exclusive. What's the easiest way to convince a brand for giving exclusivity? What's your thoughts on that? It's a broad question.
Well, it happens over time. It happens by building a relationship and building trust and showing that you're going to do what you say over a period of time, because a lot of sellers will want to take in the beginning, and always asking for things, but rarely giving. And so when you give more to the brands and you build up that relationship and you place orders consistently and you surprise them with your orders pleasantly, and even simple things like you pay on time or upfront, and you offer them actual value on Amazon, eventually you can come in with the ask for exclusivity.
Yeah, I think that the phrasing of that question where it says, "What's the easy way?" It's like anything else. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And so just in that regard, I don't know that there's an easy way. I think there's a correct way, and I think that there's a way that'll make it a little bit easier on you, which is like Brad said, developing the relationship over time. But there's no easy way of doing it. I don't really think that that's things that are rewarding and things that can make you a lot of money are not usually easy. You know, it's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, brand exclusivity, like unless it's with a brand that doesn't sell, it's a coveted position to be in, so that takes time and work.
Yeah, I mean, if you know as well as I do, it's like the amount of brands that are like, we can't give you this product, but what we can do for you is give you this other product that we've never even launched before. That's a completely new line, and you guys can be exclusive on that, but you can't be exclusive on the other one. And I don't know, maybe at the beginning, I remember like early on for me, at first I got a little excited by that. And then I was like, this is just a way of this brand trying to just pawn off all of the work onto us with just like, we've got no data behind it. We've got nothing. You know what I mean? And so I think that at the beginning, that can be kind of easy to fall for too, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, the 80-20 principle applies in that most brands do 80% of their business and 20% of their SKUs. And so every brand wants their products that don't sell to be the same as, the 20% of the SKUs that do sell. But the reality is that the market dictates what the demand is. And so because of that, like you say, it's Amazon is not going to magically create that demand. If there is market demand for it, if they've done the market research to determine that there is demand for it, then Amazon will just be another platform and medium for them to sell that product on. And when you do launch it to Amazon, it will sell. Like if there is demand for it, if you optimize the listing and from keywords and SEO and everything, it will sell. And then you advertise it, it'll sell more, right? I mean, you could capture more market share, but to say that the brand is just going to throw together a product, give you exclusivity, or take a product that's been sitting in their warehouse for a year that they never pushed any marketing behind and give you exclusivity over it, and I mean, that's ludicrous. Like we'd have a dead pile of inventory at our warehouse if we took
Well, I think it also kind of makes me laugh sometimes because the brand, like it's not their fault. It's just ignorance. Like the brand thinks that that's like, they wouldn't be saying that if they thought it was going to offend you. They're saying that because they think it's like a legitimate offer. You know what I mean? They're like, well, you could have this, and it just doesn't work like that. I always say on the phone to brands, it's like Amazon doesn't create demand, it creates exposure, and it's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you think about how many brands will do that. You got to be careful in the beginning, because it's easy to jump on all those opportunities, right? But you have to determine, if a brand asks us to launch a new product on Amazon, my first question is, what does it sell on your website?
Right.
What is the demand in other marketplaces and avenues?
Yeah.
And then we go from there, because if they say it's never sold before, then there's your answer.
Yeah, exactly. And it just goes back to like what we talk about, which is like the amount of mistakes as a beginner. Like there is an unlimited amount of mistakes that you can make when you start selling on Amazon. And it's not just got to do with money. It's got to do with your product decisions and things like that. And so that's one of the reasons that we do these lives and answer these questions, is because like, unfortunately, we've been through most of those mistakes ourselves. And so just coming from the perspective of, if we could say anything of, that's useful, right? You take anything out of it, maybe to avoid a mistake, or something like that, to help you grow your business a little more efficiently and effectively.
Yeah. And I mean, even if the brand even if the brand's products sell in other avenues, like that's good, but it's a lot of work to get those listings up on Amazon, optimize them, advertise them. Like that's a lot of work to get all that going. So, we always want to have exclusivity on the products that sell before we start, dumping time, resources, and money into a product that is going to be launched to Amazon.
Yeah, not to mention, you gotta, for the most part, I mean, unless it's insane amount of demand or you're using stuff like user generated content or something like that, you need to have some sort of an ad budget. And so it comes down to like, who is paying for those ads? Is it you? Is it the brand? Because now you're incurring more expenses, right? And a lot of times the brand doesn't understand that. So, if a brand says that to you and says, hey, we'll give you this line, and you're like, all right, great, no problem. What's the demand like? They tell you the demand and you say, okay, we're going to start with, $500, $700 a month for ad budget. Do you mind paying that? They're going to be like, whoa, you know what I mean? I thought you were going to handle all this type of deal, right? And it just doesn't make any sense. So just watch out for that.
They just want their product to magically sell, and like they don't want to do anything for it. It's
yeah.
You don't want to get caught up with that.
Fatima here saying we start by building trust, optimizing the listing first with no immediate expectations of return. I want you guys to screenshot that and frame it and put it up on your wall in front of your computer. Because if you do that, you're going to close some serious accounts.
Yeah. So I got to keep a product finder up behind my screen here. We could dive into some of that. See how quickly we can find brands.
I was on Keep a Product Finder earlier today, and I was finding some good stuff actually. So I was pretty excited about
it. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly it'll how quickly you could find products.
Yeah. And every product too, like that I really liked, went back to that theme that we talk about all the time, which is like, it was so unbelievably obscure, like to the point where I had to look up what the products were because I had no idea, which there's a lot of demand for stuff like that. I mean, and we really look at all the criteria, bad representation, like you could find some real winners.
Yeah, you could. It's, when you see a product that it just like the more obscure it is for whatever reason, it seems to have, it just seems to have the criteria, so yeah, I mean, as we just scroll here, right? So I always like to hover and look at Keepa, just see what's going on. In that little pop-up in the right-hand corner. And then, we'll look at the picture of the product just to kind of see what it is.
What is that thing right there?
There's light.
You want to talk about obscure. Is that specifically for
it's just for lizards? It's just for the inside of a cage. The lizard's got to be lit. They need a lot of heat. You got to replicate the desert.
You got a lot of specific lizard knowledge there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that obscure. You gotta
not a reptile guy, and I don't know.
You gotta read a book on reptiles.
That's good.
To
get me Christmas.
So yeah, so as we scroll here, right, this is interesting. Let's just click on that for a second. I mean, I don't know about you, but I glance at the bought in the past month. I glance at it, and I glance at the average selling price, but like my eyes are mostly drawn towards this.
Yeah, I'm there too, because I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's you could probably find more products that sell based on the filters that we put in. If we put 100 plus, we know that everything is going to be in our criteria. But the thing that we're looking for that we're unsure of, like there's no way to filter if the product has a good image or not, right? So I think that's where most of the attention has to go.
Yeah. But we are setting our filter for A+ brand content. So we're actually targeting brands that do not have A+ brand content.
Yep. I was actually doing this with Reezy the other day. And he had asked the question, said, is there something in Smart Scout that can, filter by A+ content, by images, things like that? And I said, to my knowledge, no, and it's one of those things where I would love for one of these programs like Keep a Product Finder or Smart Scout to be able to filter specifically, get really in the weeds with the imagery and things like that. Just make it so much easier,
Yeah. I mean, you got your brand score on Smart Scout, but that's not as specific.
Yeah.
Don't say that too loud. You're giving away an idea. So actually, I'm going to close this out right away because it's an electronic.
Yep.
And so we got some products up here. Maybe we'll just see if we can grab one more.
You already opened a bunch of them? I didn't even see you open them. I must have been talking about lizards.
Yeah. Yeah, just been popping some new tabs open here. Let's see. Yeah, let me know if you're seeing anything as I'm scrolling here.
Yeah. It's that one with that image that's out of compliance, it looks like.
This one here?
Yeah, what is that? It's so funny. I have the screen is so small on my end that I can't see what it is. So I think that really caught me off guard. Okay, all right.
Yeah, let's just keep going over that. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
I don't like the keep a chart on it though. Like, look at it. It looks like there's one cell manipulating the price.
Right.
What's this? I feel like I think we looked at this one on another live actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks familiar. Yeah.
I think that was actually a winner on one of our other lives. Sourcing. Yeah, guys, I mean, we find winning products every week. So like if you're not tuning in every week, should probably do that. Because it's definitely a good exercise to replicate yourselves.
What's up, Jacob? Popping in the chat here. Yes. Said hi 5 times in typical Jacob fashion.
All right, we're closing in here on 6:30, so I'm going to start looking in my tabs, see if I can find one more here.
Yeah. And the important thing to remember about this, I was speaking about this earlier today, is that this entire brand direct wholesale process builds on itself, right? And so if you don't have the foundation, which is the sourcing element of it, you could do everything else right and it's not going to work. It's just like a puzzle with everything, right? You got like 5 components, 5 pillars, whatever, like sourcing, outreach, all that stuff. And when you have one piece missing, you can't complete the picture, right? And so making sure that every step in the process is solid is super, super important.
Yeah. Wholesale is simple, but it's not easy. So when you really want to, it is a multi-layered process, a lot of moving parts and such. So, all right, so let's see what we're dealing with here.
I really like that first product there that you had just clicked on. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you like that?
Well, so that is an electrical meter, and those are I like any products that are more industrial, because you could be purchasing that for at home, but likely the demographic that's purchasing that is someone who is an electrician, or someone who's a handyman, whatever it is, right? And so those are, in my experience, are less price sensitive consumers, because it's more business, and it's also less returns because they know what they're getting. They're educated about the product. And I like the price point, and I like the listing lack of representation. So,
yeah. If this said $13 at 100 units bought, we would close this out in 2 seconds. But it's because this is not a high volume 100 units, but it's the sell price that's giving it some weight. So we always talk about our 3 main points of what a winning product looks like. You got to have it's a relationship between the average selling price, the number of units that the product is selling, aka your total revenue, the two together, and the whether the brand is well represented on Amazon, poorly represented on Amazon, or somewhere in the middle. So yeah, this is a pretty good one. The example of a brand that we would reach out to, because it's lacking, it's underrepresented on Amazon, lacking content. It's got a good sell price, okay volume, but the sell price makes up for that. So now we go to the next one here. And immediately I'm not liking this. I don't know about you, but you got the brand right here in the buy box.
yeah.
And they're undercutting everybody. So I would probably close right out of this.
Yeah, exactly. That's another strategy by brands too, where they, they'll say, yeah, no problem, we'll sell you the product, whatever. And then they'll sell on the listing and undercut where no one else can make money. So it's not a thing to be worried about.
Yeah. Sometimes there are brands where you will, you'll find brands, that will sell alongside you, and you can do that, right? So don't rule out any product that has a brand on it, but you just want to make sure they're sharing the buy box, multiple resellers, etc. So this is a pretty good.
I'm liking this one too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one based off the revenue. From what we're seeing here, it looks like there's been quite an uptick in sales recently. So
I mean,
yeah.
Is it a seasonal product? Do we have a seasonal summer?
Not really. It looks like this is increasing in sales.
Yeah.
Like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and again, this is not that it's an industrial type product, but I mean, it's a suspension stabilizer. So, I mean, someone that's doing this, I always like to think about that element of it, is like someone who's doing this on their truck has put the time in to want to invest something in their truck to make it, obviously this is probably if it's being lifted or something, like to make it look better, or if they're not, then I don't know why else they would need to stabilize it unless they're lifting it. But like, I think about those things when I'm looking at products, because I'm saying, what is the chances that someone's going to return this type of deal, just based on the nature of it. And I don't know. I like the product, in this regard.
From a revenue standpoint, it's really good.
Yeah.
So,
and we often look at these as underrepresentations too. Like, how many times have we said that, where it's like, a 200 plus units bought in the last month, and we get it into our selling account and it's selling 350 units, and we're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen a lot, because Amazon goes in increments of 100, and a lot of times this is underestimated. So yeah, and then you got G7 coffee.
Yeah, instant coffee packs. Yeah.
I mean, I would call them.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't see why not. I mean, the listing's not great. I mean, this is a nice product because people order it consistently. It's a grocery product. You're not going to get returns on it. There's room for optimization. Here's another
Yeah.
brand, G7.
Do you like instant coffee? Have you ever had instant coffee?
I used to, but I don't. No, not anymore. I don't have that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people that drink it, like I like it. People that drink instant coffee, like they're again, it's like very like that's all they drink. A lot of them, which again, I think about things like that when I'm looking at the brand. But I mean, this looks solid. We also have a merchant fulfilled offer in the buy box.
Yeah, so we would want to just take a quick look at Keepa to see what the historical price point is.
Yeah.
It's right here. It looks like Keepa was not there for quite some time. Sales volume chart
Yeah.
doesn't mean it wasn't selling. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's moving a couple hundred units a month. It's a grocery product, not bad.
Yeah.
Get 10 of these,
Definitely.
it's the
That's
business.
it exactly.
Yeah, and here we got another what looks to be a fishing or archery something product. It's always a good product when you don't know what it is right away, right? Yeah. So let's see what's going on here. It looks like, I mean, kind of another uptick here in sales, right?
That looks a little more seasonal too, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, archery, you're probably looking, it's definitely going to get stronger going into the fall. Not well optimized.
No, not at all. And a lot of these brands that are having these more, I guess, complex products, like I don't know, I find there to be like a trend where it's like the more technical a product might be, the less the brand cares about Amazon. I don't know if that's true, but it's like they're so industry specific and niche that they don't really give Amazon a second thought.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, unless it's the complete opposite and it's like, they completely just have every specificity with their product.
Yeah. And so our last product here is not justifiable volume, but we would want to look at the brand name to see if there's any other products that they carry. Looks like there is, not a lot, but I mean, you're only working with like 150 units right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good first wholesale account, right? Like if you're just trying to get your feet wet, but it's nothing that, I'd look into, especially if we got to carry a good amount of SKUs. It's like the lower the SKU count I can carry in inventory, the better. I know you're the same way.
So now at this point, what you would want to do is, number one, you'd want to source the stores that are on all of these listings, right? You'd want to add all those stores to the spreadsheet so that you can run them through Keep a Product Finder. If you guys don't know how to do that, I mean, we have gone through that on our live, so make sure you're tapping in every week. And then you want to search Google for the brand's website. Just get the phone number, put it in your spreadsheet, and once you've accumulated a list of about 50 to 100 leads, at that point, it's really just about, getting over that hump and fear of rejection to, get going.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to touch on a couple of things that we had in here. Jacob was in here just asking us a question about a brand or ASIN. Absolutely. Just send it to us on there. I know I answered it in the chat, but just send us post in the community or send one of us a message at school. And then Will in here asking or saying, hey, love your content. Do you guys offer services on school and how does that work?
Yeah, so we do have a school community. Shoot us a message on Instagram and we will discuss if it's a good fit. Would love to have that conversation with you. It's a real great community that we're building, and we're excited about it. So a lot of value in there.
Yeah. And thank you for, everything about the content. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, we're closing in here on 6:40. If we got any last minute questions, let's fire them away in the chat.
Definitely an action-packed live tonight. I feel like a lot of good questions, a lot of good products that were sourced, a lot of different products as well. So we could see that, we get that question a lot about being category agnostic, and I just find such a hard time understanding the desire to stick to one category at the beginning, because if we were sticking to one category, we would have eliminated 5 of the products that we had, or whatever, 4 of the products.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were all over the place tonight in terms of categories, but it really doesn't matter because that's what our business looks like, categories all over the place. And you don't need to worry about that with brands. Like if you lean into being the Amazon expert, that goes out the window. It doesn't even matter anymore because you're running a different kind of a business. If
I was
you're
just going to say that. Because you get that right when we're on the phone with brands where it's like, oh, you guys are carrying, something in the camera industry, and you're carrying something in like the food industry and the pet industry, right? And they're like a little confused at first. And when you say, yeah, we do that, but it's because those brands have this in common, and we are positioned as the Amazon expert for all of those brands. And then they're like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, exactly. So that's it, guys. Be the expert, be the person that, all the other Amazon sellers are not willing to be. Build that relationship, and it'll take you pretty far. Will, shoot us a message on Instagram, Operation AMZ. We'll get back to you and discuss if the community is,
or on Twitter if that works better for you, whatever.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for tapping in, guys, and live every week. So we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.